If you're thinking about moving to a 55 and older community here in Corona, I bet you've already looked at home prices, and you've probably already checked out the HOA fees too. But here's the thing, the real monthly cost of living in one of these communities is almost never what people expect. So in this video, I'm going to break down every expense, including the ones that tend to catch people completely off guard. Hi, my name is Casey, and I'm a realtor here in Southern California, and I specialize in helping people buy and sell homes in 55 and older communities like Trilogy, Glen Ivy, and the community of Terramor here in Corona. And after working with seniors in these communities for several years now, one thing I hear pretty consistently is that people are surprised at how much their monthly costs add up once they actually move in. And it's not that anyone's trying to hide anything, it's just that most people focus on the big numbers, the purchase price, the mortgage payment, and the HOA fee. But they don't always think through the full picture. So today I want to change that. I'm going to walk you through every cost you need to plan for when it comes to living in a 55 and older community. And towards the end of this video, I'll share some actual numbers for the communities here in Corona so you can see for yourself. And let's start with the things that most people already expect. And number one, home prices. When you start searching for a home, the first thing everyone looks at are home prices. And the truth is, if the home price doesn't work, then none of the other costs really matter. So this is the obvious best place to start. And number two, your mortgage payment. So if the home price works for your budget, then the mortgage payment becomes a big issue. This is typically going to be your biggest monthly expense. Now here in Corona, homes in Terramor and Trilogy range in price from about $500,000 all the way up to over $1 million. And this depends on a lot of things, like the size of the home, the floor plan, the lot, the upgrades, and the condition of the home. So depending on your down payment and the interest rate you qualify for, your monthly payment could be anywhere from around $2,000 to $5,000 per month. And that number is going to vary based on your situation and your down payment amount. And number three, HOA fees. Now when searching for a home, most people do ask about HOA fees, but a lot of people don't fully understand what's actually included in that fee or how it can change over time. Now in Terramor, the current HOA fee is approximately $380 per month. And over in Trilogy at Glen Ivy, it's around $350 per month. And these fees cover your community amenities, the clubhouse, the fitness center, the pools, and the landscaping in the common areas. And over in Trilogy, this covers your front yard maintenance too. But here's what a lot of people don't think about. HOA fees are not fixed, so they can go up over time. So the number you see today might not be the number you're paying in the next few years. So it's just something to keep in mind when you're planning for your long-term budget. And like I mentioned earlier, buyers typically look at these three things when they start looking at a home in a 55 and older community. But there are some additional costs that tend to catch people off guard. So let's take a look and see what those are. And number one, Mello-Roos or special assessments. Now this is the one that surprises people the most, especially if you've never bought a home in a newer community here in California. Mello-Roos or special assessments are a special tax that's common in newer developments, and they're used to help pay for infrastructure in the community. So think things like roads, utilities, parks, and public services. Now in Terramor, which is a much newer community than Trilogy, you'll typically see a special assessment of around $3,000 per year added on top of your regular property taxes. And since Trilogy at Glen Ivy is an older community, the special assessment situation is very different. All of the special assessments in Trilogy have already been paid off. So this is a huge advantage for Trilogy. And it's absolutely something you want to understand before you decide between these two communities. And number two, your property taxes. So in addition to your special assessment taxes, you also have a base property tax. Now here in Corona, property taxes typically run between 1.1 and 1.2% of the purchase price. So on a $750,000 home, that's about $9,000 per year on property taxes. So in Trilogy, you're looking at about $750 per month in property taxes. But in the community of Terramor, you have to remember that the county is going to add in the special assessment taxes to your base property tax. So rather than paying $9,000 on a $750,000 house, you'll be paying over $12,000 per year, or about $1,000 per month just for property taxes. And number three, homeowners insurance. And I'll be honest with you, this is the one cost that really has changed over the past few years here in California. Homeowners insurance has gone up significantly, and not many people plan for this. Now, depending on your home and the coverage you choose, you could be looking at anywhere between $900 per year all the way up to over $5,000 per year just for homeowners insurance. So this is definitely one of those things where you want to get a quote before you make a decision on a home to see how much insurance will be, or if you'll be able to get insurance at all. But it's really important not to just estimate your insurance costs based on what you paid at your last house. Now, before we move on, if you're finding this helpful so far and you'd like to see more videos about buying and selling homes as a senior, I'd really appreciate if you consider subscribing to the channel. I post new videos every week about topics that are important to seniors. Okay, number 4, extra community expenses. Now, even though your HOA fee covers most of your amenities, there are still some additional costs once you actually move in. So things like fitness classes, social clubs, special events, or activities that go beyond what's included in your base fee. Now, most of these are completely optional, and you're not required to participate in any of these. But for a lot of people, these activities are a big part of why they move to a 55 and older community in the first place. So it is worth budgeting between $50 to $150 per month for these things, depending on how active you plan to be. And finally, number 5, let's look at the real monthly cost. So let's put all the numbers together. Now, when you add up your mortgage, your HOA fee, your special assessments, your property taxes, your homeowners insurance, and your extra community expenses, the real monthly cost of living in one of these communities can really add up. And to be honest, it's really hard to give you an exact number on this one. But let's remove the mortgage payment and look at someone paying cash for their home. Now, in Trilogy at Glen Ivy, you're looking at typical monthly costs of about $750 per property taxes, $125 a month for insurance, $350 for your HOA fee, nothing for the Melrose or special assessments, and let's factor in $100 extra for community expenses. So that comes out to about $1,325 per month without a mortgage payment. And over in Terramor, it's actually going to be a little higher, with about $1,000 per month for taxes, an additional $250 for special assessments, $125 for insurance, $380 for your HOA fee, and again, let's say $100 for extra community expenses. So that's a total of $1,855 without a mortgage. So that's about $530 per month more to live in Terramor versus Trilogy. So if you decide to take out a mortgage, you'll have to add this payment into these totals. And don't forget, you'll also have additional monthly expenses too. Things like electricity, gas, water, trash, internet access, and television service. These things are not included in your HOA fee here in our local communities. So when you add up all of these numbers, you're looking at a pretty significant number every single month. But the key is to go in with a realistic picture of the full cost, because the people who struggle the most after moving in are usually the ones who plan for just their mortgage and their HOA fee, and they didn't fully account for everything else. And because I actually live here, I can tell you these are real costs of living in a 55 and older community here in Corona. And again, I want to be clear, I'm not sharing this to discourage anyone from making a move. I just want to make sure you go in knowing exactly what to expect financially so you don't put yourself in a bad position. But if you're thinking about moving into a 55 and older community here in Corona, whether it's Trilogy or Terramor or one of the neighboring communities, you really need to understand the full picture before you make a decision. And if you'd like some help estimating what your actual monthly costs would be based on your personal situation, just reach out and I'll help map out these numbers for you. And if you're thinking about buying in Trilogy or Terramor this year, I put together a list of homes currently for sale in both communities. And there's no obligation or cost, and you don't have to leave your email or phone number either. I really want you to see what's available. And if you happen to see a home you like, just let me know and I'll be glad to help. And you can see these homes by clicking on the link in the description down below. Now, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.